Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. Now, if you're involved in maintaining bioretention systems or that sort of thing, you're going to come out on site occasionally, and you're going to find different. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. Now, if you're involved with maintaining bioretention systems, you're going to come out on site from time to time, and you're going to start to find that bioretention systems often look really different. And one of the ways they can be different is that you can find that the surface of the system can vary quite a lot. You might come out to some systems and find that they're really sandy and barren. You might come out to others and find lots of leaf litter. Or you might come out to some, like this one behind me, and find that they're full of silty water. And I want to talk a little bit today, not so much about the silty aspect of this, but the water aspect of this, right? So let's spin this round and take a look. So we've got a nice little bioretention system here. It's not big. You can see one edge, sorry, dodgy filming there. One edge there, around to the side, around over to there, and back to my feet. It's a pretty small little system. And what we find here, I came out today, I've been to this system quite a few times before, and it's full of silty water. Now that's not really surprising, right? It's been raining a bit recently over the past few days here. It's fine at the moment, but I think there's another storm rolling in soon. And so I come out and find this system full of water. And what does that mean? Does that mean that this system has failed and is clogged up? Well, these are good questions that you need to be able to answer if you're maintaining the system. So I want to talk a little bit about how long water should stay around in bioretention systems. So let's have a think about this. In this case, right, you can see the overflow weir over there. You have to take my word that the top of that weir is maybe 400 to 500 mils above the surface of the system that you of course can't see under the water just there. Maybe it's about 400 or so. It's really typical for there to be an outlet pit, which is about 300 mils above the surface, right? And the typical filter media in bioretention systems should drain at around 180, 200 mils an hour. Like that's what's normally on the design spec, right? So if you come out to a system that's full of water, you should have a think about when the last rainfall event was. Have a think about the depth of the overflow weir. So the last time it rained, it filled up with water. Water started going over the overflow weir or the overflow pit, depending on how your system's configured, and it stopped raining. And then over time, the water is sinking down through the filter media, like so. So you can go, okay, in this case, that overflow weir is maybe 400 mils above the surface of the system. The system's meant to drain at 200 mils an hour. Well, that means it should take approximately 2 hours to drain down. Now we know that in the real world, systems, the porosity of the media might slow down a bit. They might clog up a bit. It's quite common to find systems, draining at maybe 50 mils an hour. So again, we think about this again and go, okay, overflow we're at 400 high. System, it's acceptable that it might drain at 50 mils an hour. 400 divided by 50 is 8 hours. So if you came back to a system within, at 8 hours after it stopped raining, after water stopped coming into the system through the inlet over here. If you came back and you found at that point that the system had just dried out, you'd go, okay, it's draining a bit slowly, but that's quite acceptable. 8 hours isn't going to stress out the plants, not in a bioretention system where they're dry for lots, when it's not raining, they're dry all the time, and then they just get really wet just after it rains and they dry back down. So you can start to use this as a guide to get a feel for how a system's going. But of course, if you come back, say if it rained yesterday, it stopped raining at midday, right? It's now about 3 in the arvo. If it stopped raining at midday yesterday and I came back and found this system with this much water in it, well, I got a bit of a concern because I reckon the top of the weir's at 400. I reckon it's lost about 200 mils of that water so far. It's probably got another 200 to go, and it's been 24 hours. That means it's draining really, really slowly, right? So now I know this system, if that was the case, might be a bit clogged up, and that's not reasonable. So we can start to get this indication. We can use these rules of thumb. So I tend to work on, hey look, if it stopped raining less than 12 hours ago, well, if it stopped raining and it's taken less than 12 hours for the system to drain out, I'm not going to be super stressed. I'd probably like it to drain a little bit quicker, but I'm not super bothered by it. If it's taking longer than 12 hours, for me, then we're into really dangerous territory. This is with my long-term maintenance hat on. Now, if this was a new system, right, just been constructed by the developer, I of course wouldn't be happy with this system taking 12 hours to drain down, right? It's brand new, it should be draining quicker than that. It should be taking a couple of hours. But with the long-term asset management hat on, knowing that I've got to prioritise where I spend my money and that sort of thing across a whole range of assets, I'm going to be like, yeah, 12 hours, I can deal with that. More than 12 hours, ooh, I'm a bit concerned. And that's where this system comes in here, right? So today, you know, it rained this morning. So this has had water into it this morning. And so I can't really tell a lot, frankly, because it probably only stopped raining here 3 hours ago. It's drained down, well, I don't know whether it's drained down because I don't know how much rain it got. Because although I live close-ish to here, you know, rainfall patterns are really variable, so I can't be sure. So I can't tell a lot here because maybe it filled up when it rained, or maybe it didn't. Maybe this is all that it filled up and hasn't drained down at all over 3 hours. I think it's drained a little because I can see, oh yeah, on this rock below me, can you see where the rock was wet higher up at surface and it's now drained down? Yeah, it's done that in a couple of hours. So it's draining slowly. And I know from previous experience with this basin where I've seen it, yeah, where I've watched the weather, seen it rain one day, and then come back a couple of days later when I'm confident that it's been dry and found it still with water in it. I know this basin drains slowly. And the good maintenance people at the council that this basin belongs to, they've kind of confirmed that for me, or actually, to be honest, they first identified that for me. But the point here is, so as a maintenance person, you might occasionally come out to a system that's got water in it, and you're going to need to figure out, is this a problem, is it not? And you need to use a test of when did it last rain, how deep is the system, how quickly would I expect it to drain down if it was draining perfectly, which is normally going to be just, 2 hours maybe. How long has it been, how much water's there, and you can begin to get a feel of whether it's in perfect condition, not perfect but still acceptable, or really taking too long to drain down. Maybe we need to start thinking about doing something about this. Sweet, that's it for now. I hope you found that useful and that interesting. If you want to know more about what it is that we do at Ideanthro, there's a few ways that you can find us. You can find us at ideanthro.com. We have a mailing list at the bottom of the main page. We also have the Connect page where you can find all our contact details. And of course, we post all our episodes and projects and that sort of thing on the website. You can also find us at Facebook at facebook.com/Ideanthro. And we post all our videos on YouTube, so you can watch them, you can comment below and get involved in the discussion. Sweet. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed, but until next time, have a nice arvo, and I'm going to see if it rains. Sweet. See ya.